Welcome to Worldwide Exchange. I'm Kelly Evans.
And I'm Ross Westgate. The headlines from around the world.
You're watching Worldwide Exchange, bringing you business news from around the globe.
All right, if you're just joining us this morning, let's get a check of how the U.S. market is doing.
Public sector customers are holding back on purchases, echoing comments earlier this month from Cisco. Dell also says the consumer market has become more challenging. The PC maker is issuing a cautious outlook for the current quarter. Shares fell 12% in after hours in Frankfurt. Right now in Frankfurt, they're down. Well, there's Lenovo, down 1.45%. I think we needed there. That's what we want. The Dell chart, not pretty.
Ouch.
Down 11.6%.
Ouch. And its rival, Hewlett-Packard, reports second quarter results after the closing bell in the U.S. Forecasts expect a gain of about 91 cents a share, earnings that is of 91 cents a share, on revenues of about $30 billion. New CEO Meg Whitman is also expected to outline her restructuring plan, which could include job cuts of up to 30,000. That would be 10% of HP's workforce. Joining us now for more is Larry Fishelson, tech expert and COO of DynaLInk Communications. Larry, are these long-term shifts happening in the tech space, or is there something specific to these companies, to Dell, for example, that the investors should be focused on?
Well, the PCs going away, which we're looking in 2017 to be more tablets and PCs, is a big issue. But the bigger issue with Dell over HP is 50% of their business is in the PC business, where HP is 15% because they saw the writing on the wall where they were getting crushed by Apple and literally got out of the PC business. So long term, you need to be in servers, you need to be in software, you need to be in network. And the issue with their earnings is they were down in enterprise. So the only upside was they were up 4% in the small to medium-sized businesses on the cloud and the servers and the software, and that's where they need to live. What I'm worried about here is they're trying to compete with Apple, waiting for Windows 8 to come out with the Streak tablet, and I think they're going to get burned here like RIM did with the Playbook and had a huge write-down on their books and spiraled down from there.
Larry, is it all about the cloud? Is that what's going to be the difference between winning, coming out on top, and going the way of RIM, as you mentioned?
It's going to be the cloud, it's going to be servers, it's going to be the small and medium-sized businesses that need to continue to update the infrastructure. Now, I understand they got a hit on the enterprise because a lot of governments are spending less money, but they're going to have to capitalize on the cloud. Waiting on a Windows 8 play, I think, is going to hurt them. And, you know, the Ultrabooks also they're relying on, but that's going to continue to go away. So I don't see a strategy anymore on the PC side. So they're going to need to, I think the next couple quarters are going to be real rocky for Dell.
Can they really become a one-stop shop for sort of IT needs of corporations, Larry?
I'll tell you, Ross, I don't think so. I don't think so. They're going to try to do that, and they're going to have to do that, but they're really going to have to innovate and disrupt with some other sort of technology, or they're going to have problems. I mean, we saw what happened with Kodak. I mean, that's an extreme example, but, you know, you look at these companies that don't continue to innovate and get beat, and I think Dell's in that category, unfortunately.
So what happens? What happens to them long term?
What happens is, long term, I think they're a takeover target.
A takeover target. And Larry, we've just been looking and discussing some of what happened with Facebook. Now, when we talk about going into the cloud and social media, those are two very different things. But you take a company like Salesforce, it's really used the cloud to its advantage, and Facebook, which is struggling on that front. So there still seems to be a big degree of differentiation in the business model, even for those companies that are able to kind of move out of the hardware and into the online or software or cloud space.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the cloud space is really driving it. So, you know, it's going to be interesting without going into the cloud how things work out.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Dell. How big are HP's challenges?
Well, I'll tell you, what I'm worried about HP is if you're talking about 30,000 employees being laid off. Now, they have $8 billion in cash, but they have $25 billion in debt. So we saw what happened with RIM. You know, last year they laid off 20% of the workforce. They spiraled down. Yahoo just fired 14% of the workforce. They're starting to spiral down. So HP, though, I think will do a lot better than Dell in the enterprise space. Once again, they saw the writing on the wall, so they're only on 15% exposure in the PC market. So I see them as having a better chance of turning it around and doing better in the cloud and the enterprise and the software space, where I see Dell having big challenges in that space.
I know it was pricey, but was autonomy the right strategic decision?
Well, I mean, we'll find out. I mean, we'll find out soon enough. But you know, if you're just letting people go and you're not growing the base, it could be a real problem.
All right, Larry Fishelson, tech expert and CEO of DynaLInk Communications from New York, for us this morning. Larry, appreciate it.